You ever been in love so fast you question your own sanity? Is it delusion or maybe this is the one? Either way, you're not upset about it. In the real world, love doesn't come with the dramatic slow zoom or quick camera angles. There's no confessional booth or neatly timed kisses under LED lights. It comes with awkward silences, mixed signals, and the quiet panic of wondering how long is too long before texting back. But somehow we, yes, you and me, we'll go over it, but the both of us, all of us, we're obsessed with watching people fall in love on TV. Beautiful, oiled up strangers flirting in neon lit villas, telling each other, "You're everything to me." Like, didn't you say otherwise when the bombshell walked out? Meanwhile, you're getting left on red for 17 hours by someone who sent you a playlist called Us, but is currently active on Insta. Something's not adding up, and today we're doing the math. So get your pencils, get your pens, and if you need paper, I'll be passing out extra because it's time to show your work. We're talking about real love, reality love, and all the chaos in between. This is Away From Home. I'm your host, LS. Let's talk about the difference between being in love and just playing the part. Let's set the stage, right? Reality TV as romantic corn. Now, I am not saying it's a you thing, because it's definitely not just a you thing. It's also a me thing. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Hands in the air, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I love my reality TV shows just as much as the next guy. I think the issue is the idea of love is portrayed in a way that can be seen as intoxicating. It's dopamine farming. It's aura farming. I hate that. I apologize. I won't say the aura thing again, but you know what I mean. They're chasing after the part of your brain that is active. There's nothing wrong with loving a little reality TV. I know, I love my fair share of reality TV. I mean, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Love on the Spectrum, The Circle, the list can go on and on. But I really want to dive deep into reality TV and actual love and affection in a relationship that you're hoping to build with someone in the real world. I think the thing about these shows is that it can be misconstrued as the template for romance. It can be something that Gen Z, millennials, even Gen Alpha uses as kind of like the guidelines between what we should and shouldn't do, or at least what we hope to expect when we think about love, relationship, intimacy, and a partner. When a lot of this is edited, right? I mean, especially when you are watching the show and then you go and you look up your favorite cast member, you look up your favorite personality, the villain, whoever you want to see where they are now after the show's ended, and you hear them talk about, oh, well, they edited me to look like this, or they made me do this, or they wanted this or that, or blah, 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 blah. The list can go on and on and on. I would highly recommend that you go and see what other people have to say that have been on the show on a podcast or in an interview or somewhere where they're not so heavily filtered and edited, because it's not everything that you think it is. It makes for good TV though. Do you know what I mean? No one can be upset about good TV. I mean, good TV is good TV. It's good TV. It's always about the rating. But these edited fantasies only portray where attraction starts. Maybe with Love is Blind, it's a bit different, which also makes it a very good show. But ultimately, it's all about physical attraction, the aesthetic of the person that you're looking at, what they present to you on a surface level basis before inching towards the substance, seeing what they actually have to say, what makes up their character, who they are around friends, family, who they are to wait staff, who they are in general. I mean, that's the real meat and potatoes when it comes to caring for someone, when it comes to finding your person. I mean, obviously, if you're just looking for, a little something, then I mean, it is what it is. But when we talk about the ultimate love, it's not so cut and dry. It's not so 3, 2, 1 action, There's hard stops, hard decisions, and sometimes it's not the best. But again, who even cares, Let's first start off and list some of these shows. Love Island, USA. The Bachelor, which everyone has heard about. The Bachelor Golden Age, which is an interesting show. I like the concept. Love is Blind, like we spoke before. Too Hot to Handle. Perfect Match, Temptation Island, Dating Around, Married at First Sight. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. All of these shows play into the dopamine that we're looking for. Is everyone taking a note from these shows and thinking that this is exactly what is happening in life every day? No. But most of the time, you're not watching for love. You're watching to see someone else do things we wish we could say or do on a second date, but don't. I mean, imagine you had a confessional every time you didn't feel some sort of connection between someone. It's not the same. But let's talk about manufactured love versus real compatibility. I mean, when these producers and editors make these shows and watch over and edit every single thing, they're looking for the perfect time to have music swell that makes your heart race while you're sitting at your table or you're sitting on the couch. And they're waiting for the perfect time to have champagne toasts. Let's talk about manufactured chemistry versus actual compatibility. Most of the time, these producers are trying to create romance. Obviously, there are certain cases where romance actually happens on these shows. People can feel such strong connections with someone, whether that's physically, emotionally, or going through some sort of intimate connection. Yes, a lot of these shows do have a challenge that revolves around the show, keeping it extremely entertaining while also hovering under the layer of love and attraction and beauty and connection, blase, blase. Ultimately, these producers are trying to find a way to cue music, to propose champagne toasts, and have vulnerability exercises that makes not only you relate to the show, feeling as though you'll better connect with the person on the show and whoever you're rooting for, but also for that person to hopefully divulge information that will better connect them with their interested love. Now, when we talk about real world situationships, a lot of the time it's confused texting, miscommunication, or honestly just getting ghosted. No music cue, no happy ever after, no nothing. You were texting today, you're not texting tomorrow, and that's it. I mean, honestly, imagine you are walking in Whole Foods and you look across the vegetable aisle and music cues in the background. And as you raise your eyes to look afar, but not too far, but far enough, you make eye contact with someone cute and the music starts to swell, the lights start to flicker. I mean, I would think it's fate too. Anyone would think it's fate, but that's not how it actually goes. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's something that we have to talk about seriously when it comes to relationships and most importantly, situationships. Now, I'm no stranger to a situationship. I feel like most people nowadays are not a stranger to a situationship, but it's in the name. It's just a situation that you're going through. Whether this is the person you're going to end up with forever, who's to say? Not my place. I just got home. But you're hoping that it is. You're hoping, maybe, that the person that you're talking to is someone that you can continue to develop a relationship with. You're hoping the situation becomes a relationship, something with a firm, strong foundation that you can then build upon layer by layer without having to compete with 10 other contestants and also completing a weekly challenge in hopes of not getting voted out before you get to build that relationship with the person that you are choosing. A lot of the things that happen in the show can't even happen in real life. I mean, most of them are things that would never work in real life. Example, I've known you for 2 days and I'm falling in love. Now, maybe that might get somebody. With the right person, right situation, right time, maybe that'll work. But would that really work if a man, woman, person came up to you and said, I know it's only been 2 days and I feel really connected to you. I feel like our connection is strong. And since the moment you came down that walkway, I knew that I was in love. and I'd love to see where this goes. But also don't vote me out, please, because I would love to make it to the end of the episode and hopefully the reunion. Like, all of this wouldn't work. It wouldn't work in real life, but it's good to think about. It gives you a sense of warmth and excitement in the deepest parts of your heart, in the deepest parts of your chest. It makes you feel good. And that's what the show captures. But that doesn't happen in real life. I didn't mean to kiss her, it just happened, doesn't happen in real life. Now it can, but that's just cheating. That's not a relationship that you share with someone and then walking to the confessional to cry and talk about your grievances. These things don't happen. I mean, honestly, every bombshell on Love Island could pass for your toxic ex. I mean, they're beautiful people, stunning people. I could never be on the show. I don't have the facilities to be on the show, but let's move on. I think a lot of the things that we hope would happen when we think about love and when we think about, maybe not love, let's talk about relationships. When we think about relationships, wouldn't happen on these shows. I mean, a good example is Love is Blind. If you don't know what Love is Blind is about, singles try to find a match and fall in love without ever seeing each other face to face, as an emotional connection attempts to conquer physical attraction. Now, with everything that I said in the beginning of this episode, when it comes to how these shows are trying to depict love, it's almost always a physical-based metric. You're trying to weed out via litmus test who is the most attractive to you, who you are most attractive to, and weeding your way into that person's heart, life, and bedroom. Love is Blind does the opposite. They're all about figuring out who you care for with an emotional connection, which I feel like is a pretty good show. However, it still almost always comes back to that face-to-face, immediate connection. Even after some couples get together, decide, by the way, they have to get married, decide that they want to marry the person that they've been talking to for 3, 4, 5 days, there's still that moment of reveal where they get to meet them and think to themselves, is this the person I can see myself with? Am I physically attracted to this person, even with all the stuff that we had gone through and talked about emotionally? And some of these shows really get going. I mean, there's crying, there's connection. It's a good show to watch, but I don't think it should be the basis of what love means to the rest of us in the real world. I think an important thing to know is what we want from love. Let's talk attachment styles. If you don't know, there are 4 major types of attachment styles. There's secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. Secure is high levels of trust and comfort in a relationship, being able to express your emotions and needs openly without fear of rejection. Anxious is constantly seeking reassurance and validation from their partner, often experiencing high levels of anxiety and fear of abandonment. Avoidant values independency and self-sufficiency in a relationship. They tend to avoid emotional intimacy and may have difficulty opening up to their partner. And finally, disorganized. These people exhibit a combination of anxious and avoidant behaviors. They may have experienced inconsistent caregiving in their childhood, leading to confusion and ambivalence in adult relationships. Now, just because you have A doesn't mean you would be lacking in B. Obviously, most people might say that the type of attachment style that you're searching for or hoping to be is secure, which can be a yes or no scenario. I think it's more important to be able to identify the type of attachment style that you have and then relate that in a way that will help you better yourself as you get older, and identifying the things that you are not looking for in a person via attachment styles. If I know that I'm an avoidant, which I am, and I love my independence, I love being alone. If I don't want to talk about something, I will not talk about it. I just want to process it by myself. This is something that I know of myself. I would not like to be with someone that is anxious, because if I'm consistently valuing my independence and my self-sufficiency and avoiding emotional intimacy altogether, not being able to open up or talk about my own relationship or my own problems in my relationship being with someone that is anxious or has an anxious attachment style, well, all they're doing is seeking that validation that I am withdrawing from them. For two opposites, Like they want me to talk more about myself. They want me to open up to them, but I don't feel secure enough. I don't feel secure enough to be able to be in a position where I can talk about my relationship, or I can talk about the issues that I may have, or provide them with the reassurance and care that they want. Now, I know my attachment style because I've been in that relationship. I've been in a relationship where I was, and still am, the avoidant, and they were the anxious. They wanted reassurance. They wanted stability. They wanted chalant. And I was nonchalant. I didn't know how to operate correctly. I didn't know how to process my emotions in a way that was positive towards our relationship. If something bothered me, then I wouldn't say anything. I would hold it in, figure out what the issue was with me, figure out if it was an issue with them, make a decision for the both of us, which is incorrect, and then decide to move on without ever addressing the situation directly and letting them know, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm going through. Can you give me space, give me time, help me through it, etc. I wasn't that person. And it's something that I continue to think about now, even in all the relationships that I have, whether this is with my significant other, my friends, my family, my coworkers. I'm always actively thinking about where I lie on this grid, roughly, and how I can take that information in order to better the things that I'm searching for when it comes to love. Now, I'm not saying all of this because I've been on a TV show. Again, I don't think I would even qualify to make a video to get on these shows. There is a level of performance when it comes to vulnerability on TV versus what is happening in our lives. I mean, each week we actively see someone deciding that this is the person that they want to be with. They're showing all of the right signs. You're smiling at the TV, hoping for that boy to love that girl just in the right way so that the both of them can become a couple that transcends the television, that transcends what we're watching. Now, you're hoping that what they are going through on the show is more than just action. But in real life, there's more than just talking to someone every day, love bombing them, and then deciding that you no longer want to talk to them. These things aren't the correct, they don't provide any substance to your life. They don't develop your relationship. They don't develop the way you think about love. And it's hard. I mean, I know that if I had to create a TV moment with someone, dancing in the rain, a big dramatic walk, or the perfect kiss, it wouldn't go perfectly. It wouldn't. I mean, maybe it would be perfect because it was imperfect. It would be perfect between me and that person because it was a little awkward and maybe we didn't kiss correctly, or your head turned this way and my head turned the same way, so we're both looking at each other, or maybe we bumped teeth. I don't know. I mean, the list can go on and on and on, but it's these little inconsistencies that make the value of your relationship more than just what is presented on TV. Now, obviously, on TV, they might show these cute little quirky things that go on the show, but it's more about establishing a clear storyline with its ups and its downs and attracting you to what you're hoping to see every other week. I mean, when I was young, I was always a hopeless romantic. I feel like most people are hopeless romantics. I would like to say that most people are hopeless romantics. I can't actually speak for other people. I can only speak for myself. But still, I was a hopeless romantic. If there was any more hopeless, I was there. I was at the bottom. But I just wanted love. And maybe, again, this goes back to my avoidant attachment style and some inner child healing that I have to do. I am not a therapist. Any healing that is being done will be outside of this podcast. Most likely not. I'll probably just avoid it and decide to do something else. But still, I was a hopeless romantic. I mean, there wasn't anything I wouldn't do for love and validation. Well, okay. I mean, there are things that I wouldn't do, but I really yearned for a connection more than just the surface with someone. I wanted to care for them. I wanted to be cared for. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be appreciated. I wanted to be held. And when it comes to these shows, I think that the biggest thing that I'm realizing as I'm talking about this right now is that I don't have the heart to be on these shows. I think I'm too hopeless of a romantic to be on these shows because everybody would be breaking my heart. Maybe this is all about me. Maybe this is a me thing. I mean, I am doing this podcast alone, but still, maybe this is a me thing. Maybe I'm realizing I'm the problem. No Taylor Swift. It's just me. Damn. Anyways, let's talk about when we talk about attraction and love in this current day and age. It's almost always about any insert social media app algorithm or any dating app algorithm. Most of these shows mirror influencer culture, right? It has the person, it has their age, it has their name, it has some tidbits next to them like, hi, my name is L. I've been told I have emotional depth, but I also ghost when anxious. Like, these are things that they would put on the show. Obviously, they would say this to the person that they're chasing after, but it would be something that would be on the show that would be enticing for us. Like, we would be like, oh, that's a toxic man. But everybody loves a toxic man. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone wants to see him lose or him succeed. Maybe instead of him being a toxic man, he has this sort of overarching situation where he becomes a better man in the end. But then you go on Instagram and you check him out and he's still doing the same thing. This time he just has a blue check mark and it's branded. There's hashtag ad in the beginning, you know? Everyone is their own main character now. And does that make us worse at loving someone else? No. I think it's important to know yourself. I think it's important to love yourself. I think it's important to be mindful of who you are when trying to search for your other half, when trying to search for a person in general. I think it's important to understand that what you see online is different from how the real world is. I mean, I'm going to go over something, right? Let's do some Love Island bios. I'll read out some bios and you tell me in the comments down below if these people would attract you. Hey, I'm Jordan. I'm 28. I'm a gym rat, but emotionally, I'm more of a stray cat. You feed me attention, but I'll disappear at night. My career, personal trainer / brand ambassador for insert protein shake. Turn-ons, when she says, I don't usually do this, but absolutely does. I think in the end, no matter where we get our information when it comes to being in love, we still love, and that's okay. I think even with all this bashing that I've been doing on these reality TV shows, also I really hope they don't think I've been bashing them. I'm a huge fan of reality TV. I watch it maybe once or twice a week. I have my fair share of guilty pleasures. I think a lot of these shows teach us how to open up, how to process rejection, and how to say what we feel. I think most of the time when we're watching these shows, we're always audibly saying what we would hope that they would say. When we see X person giving a confessional or talking about the person that they want so bad, but know that that person did them dirty, we know in hindsight that we wish that they could have said something, that they could have been there, like they could have expressed their emotions more fluently, because then it wouldn't be an issue between the two of them. And honestly, it would probably be squashed immediately. I mean, whatever situation or argument that they had going on would probably be remedied immediately, but those things don't happen. A lot of the time, there's a lot of rejection on these shows. And rejection is a hard thing to accept. I mean, it's in the word. It's rejection. It's not acceptance. We are being rejected for the person that we're presenting. And being rejected in real life is definitely harder than being rejected on a TV show. I mean, maybe there is some comparison between the two. Being rejected on a TV show is being filmed by producers and other castmates that will be immediately notified of your rejection. But being rejected in real life somehow feels worse because it's not you, it's me. I'm just saying. And it's almost always a result of some sort of inspection on who you are. You might think, well, why doesn't this person like me? I mean, I felt like we had a great connection. We formed something really well. We've been talking for the last 2.5 weeks, and I've seen them twice, and we've gone on 2 dates. I feel like this is strong. I feel like there's something to believe in. But then you get rejected, or then you get ghosted, or it just doesn't work out completely. And that's the end of whatever you had envisioned for the future. Being okay with rejection is okay. Understanding that you and that person may not have connected in a way that was profound is completely okay. I mean, you're not going to make a profound connection every day with the same person. The guy that's living in your neighborhood is more often than not your one and only. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to understand that this happened to me now. I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to move forward in a positive way or not. I mean, you know what they always say, if you can't get over them, get under. I fucking hated that. I don't know where I'm going to cut that, but I'm going to move on to the next part. I think the biggest issue with both in real life love and TV love, or at least one of the biggest issues, definitely in real life, but TV, it depends on how it's edited, is all about communication. Being able to say what you feel, being able to properly tell someone the difference, the change in your heart is important. If there is some sort of issue that is bothering you, or if you're fearful of, who knows, whatever the issue is, I think it's all about being able to communicate and articulate yourself in a productive way. That means don't yell in this household. This is a no yelling household. Being able to say what you feel is always important. I mean, humans communicate every day, but somehow, hold on, I gotta let Dorian out. Being able to communicate what you say is so important, yet somehow humans are so bad at communicating. And sometimes it's important to see a mistake on TV and know what you would have said, and then being able to use that in your real life. I mean, sometimes watching strangers love badly is the only way we realize what we won't put up with anymore. What real love needs is time, choice, accountability. Definitely not a confessional booth, unless it's therapy. So, if you've ever dated someone who thought communication was just looking at you during sex, this is definitely the podcast for you. Accountability, choice, and time. Accountability is always important. I mean, it's important in any relationship, whether this is work, friendship, love, family, life. It's important to be accountable for the actions that you do and how they may affect other people, especially if this is a relationship that you're hoping to be romantic in. You're hoping that this is a intimate relationship. And that doesn't mean freak nasty. I mean being able to share your life with someone. It's all about accountability. But that accountability always follows choice. You choose the person that you want. You choose the person that you want to be with. You choose the person that you want to be today. So that way you're always better tomorrow. Because there's always more time. The time that you have is all the time that you'll ever have. Is that dumb? The time that you had should be indicative of the time that you wish to have. It's not gonna all happen in a month. I mean, it can. There's nothing wrong with you hauling, but you need to be able to process the emotions that you have for that person and really think about what the next steps are. I think people fall into a combination of love bombing, breadcrumbing, and U-Haul. All of that wraps up in the first, let's say 6 weeks. The first 6 weeks of any relationship is all about, what is that called? The honeymoon phase. I mean, some people say that the honeymoon phase can last up to a year, if not a year and a half. I feel like that's a little long, but I really like making someone my partner after 8 months. Yes, I know that's a long time. 8 months is a very long time. I'm sorry. I have trust issues and I have problems, but I need the time. You see what I'm getting at? I need the time to get to know this person. I mean, obviously, I know what they like. I know who they love to spend their time with. I know how they like to spend their time with me, but I need more time. I need to figure out if my crazy matches your crazy, if you match my freak, if you pick up what I'm putting down, if we can spend time together quietly, if we can go to the opera, go to the ballet, hit the club. I want to know if the things that I like to do match up with the things that you like to do. I want to make sure that we balance each other in a positive way. So every day I make the choice to be with you. So every day I make the choice to continue this conversation, to continue this relationship, to continue to be a better person, a better lover, a better insert anything for my person. And when I'm not, I have to be accountable. I have to be present with my actions, reflect on what I did, and move forward in a positive light to hopefully be better for my partner and they continue to love and care for me. And if push comes to shove, I mean, there's nothing wrong with therapy. Also, if you haven't seen the show, Couples Therapy, highly recommend. Great show. It's also a reality TV show, but it talks about, it's kind of like you're the fly on the wall in a therapy session between almost always a couple and a very smart therapist. I know I'm recommending more shows, and this whole thing is about relationships and reality TV and, blah, 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 even though you already have your own shows. But I think it's good TV, and it's good TV to learn from. And if I'm wrong, that's completely fine with me. It's not my first time. It most definitely won't be my last time, but I'll be seeing you on the next episode. See ya. God, I hope that was good.